2026 might be the year Fujifilm finally decides what it wants to be. Not more megapixels, not more artificial intelligence, but three cameras that quietly reveal Fujifilm's future. And one of them might decide whether Fujifilm still belongs to photographers or content creators. Because here's the thing, while Sony chases resolution and Canon perfects autofocus, Fujifilm is doing something far more dangerous. They're doubling down on identity, on soul, on the belief that cameras should mean something beyond their spec sheets. And that identity shows up clearly in the three cameras rumored for 2026. Three bodies that together tell a story about where photography is going and who gets left behind. If you're here for that story, for honest conversations about cameras without the hype, hit subscribe. This is Alt Buzz. No spec worship, just truth. Fujifilm stands at a crossroads. On one side, there's pressure, the full-frame wars. Sony and Canon throwing stacked sensors and eye-tracking autofocus at every problem. The hybrid creator economy demanding 8K video and unlimited recording times. The algorithm favoring cameras that look good in spreadsheets. On the other side, there's legacy. The X-Trans philosophy, film simulations that feel like memories, physical dials that slow you down in the best way. A community that chose Fujifilm not because it was the fastest, but because it felt right. Most companies would panic. Most would try to be everything to everyone. Fujifilm is doing the opposite. Instead of fighting Sony and Canon head-on, they're doing something more interesting. They're segmenting, dividing their lineup so intentionally that each camera becomes a statement, a choice, a flag planted in the ground that says, "This is who we are for." And the three cameras coming in 2026 make that strategy crystal clear. Each one reveals a different future, a different philosophy, a different answer to the question, what should a camera be? Let's start with the most emotional one, the one that reminds us why we fell in love with Fujifilm in the first place. At number 3, we have the Fujifilm X-Pro 5. Just saying that name out loud feels like a risk, because the X-Pro line was never about winning. It was never about topping charts or dominating YouTube thumbnails. It was about slowing you down, making you think, turning photography back into a conversation between you and the frame. The hybrid optical viewfinder, the rangefinder styling, the way it sits in your hand like a film camera that accidentally learned to shoot digital. All of it designed to remind you that photography used to be intentional, deliberate, quiet, and if the rumors are true, Fujifilm isn't abandoning that philosophy, they're upgrading it. The X-Pro 5 is expected to carry the same next-generation X-Trans sensor as the rest of the 2026 lineup. That means better low-light performance, faster autofocus, and smarter subject tracking. But more importantly, it means Fujifilm finally solved one of the X-Pro line's biggest limitations: in-body image stabilization. IBIS in a rangefinder body, that's huge, because it means the X-Pro 5 can finally compete in video, in low-light street photography, in handheld documentary work, all while keeping that classic form factor intact. The hybrid viewfinder is getting an upgrade too. Smoother switching between optical and electronic. Better magnification, improved overlays that don't feel intrusive, and according to some leaks, a double-sided flip screen that addresses years of complaints without sacrificing the camera's iconic design. Video specs are rumored to include 6K internal recording and improved codecs for serious hybrid work. Expected release? Summer 2026. But here's what really matters. If Fujifilm releases the X-Pro 5, it means they still believe photographers matter. Not content creators, not influencers chasing engagement. Photographers, the ones who shoot because they have to, because the world looks different through a viewfinder. That's a bold move in 2026, maybe even a reckless one. But nostalgia alone doesn't pay the bills. That's where the next camera comes in. At number 2, we have the Fujifilm X-T6. This is the camera most people will buy. And the one Fujifilm cannot afford to get wrong, because the X-T line has always been Fujifilm's soul, the balanced center. Not too retro, not too modern, not too niche, not too mainstream, just right. A camera that works for wedding photographers and travel vloggers and landscape shooters and everyone in between. The X-T6 needs to be that, but better, faster, smarter. And if the rumors hold, it will be. Start with the sensor, 5th generation X-Trans, likely stacked, which means faster readout speeds and less rolling shutter. That's critical for video, for fast-moving subjects, for anyone shooting action or sports. Then there's the autofocus, advanced artificial intelligence subject detection. Not just faces and eyes, but animals, vehicles, entire scenes analyzed in real time. Fujifilm has been playing catch-up here for years. The X-T6 is their chance to finally match Sony and Canon's tracking performance. Continuous shooting, blackout-free bursts, high frame rates that don't choke the buffer, the kind of speed that makes the X-T6 viable for professional sports and wildlife work. Video, 8K at 30 frames per second, 4K at 120 frames per second, internal recording, enhanced heat management, everything a hybrid shooter needs to compete in 2026. The electronic viewfinder gets a resolution bump too, sharper, brighter, with refresh rates that make manual focusing feel natural again. And the best part? It's still an XT. Physical dials, tactile controls, a camera that doesn't hide its settings behind touchscreens and menus. You can change shutter speed, ISO, aperture without taking your eye off the frame. That's Fujifilm's magic. That's why people stay. Expected release? Second half of 2026. Price? Somewhere around $2,000 to $2,200. If you're enjoying this kind of analysis, the kind that goes beyond specs and asks what cameras actually mean, consider checking out my website. I post longer essays there, behind-the-scenes notes, deeper dives into industry strategy. Links in the description. And if you want even more, you can join the channel membership. It's about $5. It helps keep this channel honest. But back to Fujifilm. If the X-T6 is balanced, if it's the safe bet, the reliable workhorse, the next camera is Fujifilm pushing the limit, testing boundaries, proving they can build a machine that professionals take seriously. At number 1, we have the Fujifilm X-H3. This is Fujifilm's answer to Sony and Canon. Without apologizing. Forget romance. Forget philosophy. The X-H3 is about performance, speed, power. The kind of camera that doesn't care if you love it. It just wants your respect. And it's earning it. The rumors point to a stacked 5th generation sensor with ultra-fast readout. That means blackout-free shooting at absurdly high frame rates. Burst performance that rivals professional full-frame bodies. Zero rolling shutter, even in video. Speaking of video, 8K at 60 frames per second. Internal, with heat management designed for long recording sessions. This isn't a hybrid camera that tolerates video. This is a video camera that happens to shoot incredible stills. In-body stabilization? Up to 8 stops. That's borderline ridiculous. That's handheld low-light work that used to require tripods. Autofocus? Advanced artificial intelligence tracking that locks onto subjects and doesn't let go. Deep learning. Real-time scene analysis. The kind of system that makes you forget you're even focusing. The body itself is built for punishment. Weather sealing that can handle rain, dust, extreme temperatures. A grip designed for heavy telephoto lenses. Dual card slots with the fastest write speeds Fujifilm has ever offered. Connectivity options for tethered shooting and live streaming. This is a tool built for professionals who need reliability above everything else. Expected price? $2,500 to $2,700. Release? Second half of 2026, likely alongside the X-T6. But here's the thing about the X-H3. It's not trying to be loved, it's trying to be necessary. It's Fujifilm saying, we can compete. We can build a camera that professionals trust for paid work, for editorial assignments, for commercial shoots where failure isn't an option. That's a different Fujifilm than the one that made the X-Pro 3. And that's exactly the point. Look at these 3 cameras together. Really look at them. The X-Pro 5, for photographers who believe cameras should have soul, who want their tools to feel like instruments, not machines. The X-T6, for hybrids who need balance, versatility, Reliability. Who shoot weddings on Saturday and YouTube videos on Sunday? The X-H3. For professionals who demand performance above everything else, who need a camera that disappears and lets them work. Fujifilm isn't chasing everyone. They're dividing their audience on purpose. They're saying, pick your identity, choose what you value, and we'll build you the perfect tool for that vision. It's brilliant, and it's risky, because in 2026, most brands are trying to build one camera that does everything. One body that satisfies the landscape photographer and the sports shooter and the wedding videographer and the street photographer all at once. Fujifilm is rejecting that approach entirely. They're betting that specialization wins, that photographers and creators don't want compromise. They want cameras built specifically for how they see the world. And if you look at Fujifilm's loyal community, maybe they're right. Maybe the future of cameras isn't one perfect body. Maybe it's 3 perfect bodies, each speaking to a different soul. That's confidence. Or desperation. Maybe both. But it's undeniably interesting. If this video helped you think differently, super thanks are always appreciated. They keep this channel independent. They let me keep making videos like this one, where the goal isn't clicks, it's clarity. Your support means I can keep digging into the stories behind the cameras, the philosophy behind the spec sheets. And before you click away, I want you to think about something. If you could only choose one, if Fujifilm made you decide, would you pick the X-Pro 5 for the soul, the X-T6 for balance, or the X-H3 for power? And what do you want Fujifilm to protect most in the future? Photographers or creators? Drop your answer in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. I read every single one. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. This is Alt Buzz, where we talk about cameras like they matter, because they do. Hit that subscribe button. Join the conversation. Be part of a community that cares about more than just megapixels and frame rates. Cameras don't just capture images. They reveal what companies believe photography should be. They're statements of intent, declarations of philosophy. And in 2026, Fujifilm is revealing everything. 3 cameras, 3 visions, 3 answers to the same question. What matters most? I'll see you in the next one.